Hey, let's watch another Elden Ring movie, Vaatividya's The Lord of Frenzied Flame.
The lands between are ruined, mired in torment and despair. Is there really anything here worth fighting for?
Yeah, that's a solid question. The place sucks, man. Everything sucks. Everybody's dying. There's disease and blight and poison swamps and oppressive government systems. Why are we here? Why do we push on?
Is there anyone worth saving?
Hello? Is somebody there? My name is Irina. I've escaped from Castle Morn.
This poor
to
woman.
the south. My good father secreted me out the castle, but decided himself to stay.
Dude, look at this dude's armor. You cannot possibly tell me that they did not build in testicles into his armor set. Which leads me to my next point. What do you think it would be like to be to eat eyeballs thinking they're grapes? What the fuck? This is the most fucked up storyline.
Says it's his duty. As commander, the servants there have rebelled. Filled with hatred for every one of us.
Why are they going to leave the hats on all the dead people? Lots of weird ones so far. We're 41 seconds in.
They've since come for every one of the companions I
Could you
escaped
imagine?
with. They haven't spared a soul.
You hang 15 people, but leave their hats on.
I fear for father's life. My soul wishes that he escape.
The slaves of Castle Morn are misbegotten. Their very existence is considered to be a punishment. But their only crime was being born outside of grace. So
what does that mean?
No wonder that hatred has fermented in their hearts.
They old?
Inspiring them to finally break free of their masters. The next step in a cycle of revenge that began at Castle Morn long ago.
I see. From Irina. Thank you. I'm in your debt, but I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands.
Ages ago, a lone champion fought at Castle Morn. His entire clan had been vanquished, but he grafted their swords onto his own and continued to fight. So determined was he to claim his revenge. And so, this became the legendary sword of Castle Morn. It was claimed by the banished knights of Godric, stolen by a misbegotten, and then passed down to you. And with it, the cycle of revenge continues. An eye for an eye.
A little foreshadowing there.
I'm in your...
I probably should start over. I don't know what's happening. Castle Morn, Revenge. Okay, I'm not going to record this, but I'm going to go rewatch this because I've been too busy laughing at all the antics going on. I'm having a day. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm all caught up and paying attention. I got my mind straight here. I'm set. Basically, what they just said is that at Castle Morn, the misbegotten slaves rebelled against, I don't know, the humans that are there, right? Their masters, which I'm kind of on the side of, right? Like, I'm all for a good, like, slave uprising because nobody wants to be enslaved. And these, the misbegotten, whatever. With that said, there's also the Sword of Morn, Castle Morn. And as the story goes, a guy was the last man fighting, and he would take the swords of his fallen comrades and put them onto his sword, and eventually he's got the Game of Thrones chair, and he's swinging it around, and that is the story. So, okay, let's actually continue now.
I'm in your debt for keeping the sword from those fallen creatures.
I don't know why we helped him. I'm on the side of the misbegotten. Uh-oh.
I'm no longer bound by duty. Once I've rescued Irina, I will spend my remaining days with her.
Whack! How did they make that? Because she only dies when you're off screen. I wonder how they animated that death.
Irina, how could this be? My daughter deserved better. The fault lies with me. I chose duty over my daughter's safety. And that is how fate has answered. I'll find them. The foul wretches responsible for this. I'll hunt them down and exterminate every last one of them.
Okay, so the story that I'm seeing here is that he's going to go embrace the frenzied flame to go get revenge for his daughter's death, which I don't quite recall. I did run through this storyline. I even did the Lord of Frenzy Flamed ending, but I must not have paid much attention here. I do try to pay attention when I when I play the game, but I don't know the details of this one, so I'm glad I'm about to learn it, I guess.
Rest assured, Irina, it will be done.
I'm still not on his side, though. I'm still on the misbegotten side.
You're a tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods.
Santa Claus.
I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer. There are others of my people who yet survive in these lands. If the mood takes you when you meet one, then offer them some trade, won't you? My people, wanderers all have long been spurned by the grace of gold, which is why we cannot settle, but instead are forced into this pitiful, unceasing journey. But thanks to that, things are not so different for us now.
Why do you think that they are forced to only set up camp in like the most terrible places where no one will ever find them? Is there an answer to that?
I think this makes us kindred spirits of sorts. Your people, the Tarnished, and mine. See that no harm comes to my kin. We have a saying, we wanderers, lament not your solitude. Expect no sympathy, no regard, nothing. But if anyone dares harm us, show them no mercy. That is our code, so to speak. Just the way we are, deeply unforgiving.
Deep within the eyes of the oldest merchants, a secret is hidden. Deeply unforgiving indeed.
But I've done all I can here. I'm thinking of moving elsewhere for a time.
How are the merchants related to the frenzied
So far,
flame?
we've spoken of misbegotten, banished knights, tarnished, and merchants. All were spurned by grace in one way or another. You can't go too far without wondering if the Golden Order is to blame for the oceans of anger and despair.
I think the Golden Order is to blame for everything. Like literally everything in this. I see them as like an oppressive government system and I hate them. Not always, most of the time.
When we last met Edgar, he swore revenge upon the misbegotten.
I mean, I'm not like an
But
anarchist.
now, all must die, misbegotten or not. And if you defeat Edgar, you will receive a Shabriri grape. It's our proof that his need for revenge no longer divides or distinguishes. Love.
Oh, that was
revenge,
him.
Melt it all away.
That's
The
why I did.
Chaos flame.
This is why I didn't follow this, because I defeated him, but I didn't realize who he was. Damn. Holy shit.
But there are those who fight against the tarnished who stalk their own.
Yeah,
Yura, the hunter of bloody fingers, will often be at your side.
I like him. Raiden.
Yura comes from the land of reeds, a place that has long been locked in a miserable civil war, and it's said that the entire nation has succumbed to a blood-soaked madness. It's not too surprising, then, that Yura fights against any blood-crazed tarnished, whether they serve the Lord of Blood or otherwise. But Yura's true mark is a Drake Knight named Eleonora.
How do they get the slow motion visuals for this? I assume they're playing on PC. Maybe there's some sort of mod or something. Or is this just 60 frames per second slowed down and it looks good enough?
Located at the Second Church of Marika, where she kills Yura in cold blood.
Yeah.
Once, Eleonora had a legacy as a proud knight, but because of her dragon communion, it seems her humanity has slipped away. So, you put that legacy to rest. By now, it should be clear that madness takes many forms.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hayata, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light. If I might be so bold as to ask, would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me?
Isn't a Shabriri grape a real thing? Like, didn't people actually eat eyes? Like, isn't that based on something real?
She looks like Irina, but Irina is dead. Somehow, this Hayata has taken over that body. But for what purpose? She barely even knows herself.
I can feel a distant light in the back of my eyes. It will lead me to my true duty as a finger maiden. You're not like the others who give me grapes, are you? They rest their trembling hands upon me. Howling wordlessly, they gently stroke my eyes. Their frail fingers,
That's so creepy.
emaciated. Yet still, they give me the grapes. But you seem somehow firmer. Now I can feel the distant light once more.
He has some muscle
That
mass.
aside, I wonder what Shabriri grapes really are. Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold.
Of course, the Shabriri grapes are eyes. Yellow, shriveled, and oozing.
That's not possible.
Gross.
Not all of those people. Their own. So those noises I heard were.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Unreal. God, this is creepy. This is like a horror movie episode. Oh, not this guy.
Shabriri, the most reviled man in all of history. It all began long ago.
It's a man?
Crime of slander. Shabriri came up with a lie, and it was so damaging, so heinous, that his eyes were gouged out as a punishment when that lie was proven to be false. We can't be sure of what was said, but what if Shabriri slandered the nomadic merchants? What if, with a crooked smile, he accused them of the very crime he himself was guilty of, saying that they had fraternized with the Three Fingers and were not to be trusted? This would explain why the nomadic merchants came to be so hated.
Okay.
It is said,
All
after
right.
all, that the sickness of the flame of frenzy began with Shabriri.
Okay, all right. I'm following. So at first I was sort of like chuckling a little bit, like, oh wow, he told a lie and got his eyes gouged out. Like, okay, that's very like Elden Ring of, you know. But then to say, okay, the merchants were with the Three Fingers and, you know, maybe getting them all banished or whatever, like sort of ruining the lives of a bunch of people, or maybe getting most of them killed or something. You know, if you say something that ends up getting a bunch of people killed, that's probably should be punishable, yeah?
And after his eyes were gouged out, the blight of the flame of frenzy came to dwell in his empty sockets. Yellow eyes became known as Shabriri grapes, and frenzy started to infect the despairing world. A madness that belongs to those who have lost everything.
Ah, by the way, well, even we had a place to call home once. The Great Caravan, they called it.
You know what I also never noticed is that, well, I guess it's because you don't actually see him walk, but all of the merchants are blind. I somehow never realized this, but as we see them all walk around here in this movie, they all have like a walking stick.
But it's been lost to us for ages. I've been searching for it as long as I can remember. And with a name like that, you'd hope they kept some fine goods there, eh? I've always preferred my own company
He
to
has
that
eyes.
of other people's. And I don't have any burning questions I wish to ask my ancestors. But there's something I need to know. My roots. I want to know who I am, where I came from, where I'm headed.
Detroit, if I had to
I
guess.
hope you can join me at the Great Caravan, in fact. Who knows what wonders there might be to trade?
Why are they so obsessed with
If
being
Shabriri
merchants?
did indeed slander the merchants, then he knew exactly what their despair might bring.
Oh, fuck this hole, man. I wonder if anybody's ever made it down this first try.
Is that you over there?
Oh,
I've gleaned
Hayata.
something very important indeed, thanks to you. The reason why it was eyes I had to eat. The distant light is far and frail, so faint it can't be seen by the naked eye. But with everyone's eyes together, it appears. Finally, it all makes sense. I'm certain now. I will be a finger maiden.
A three-finger
Could you
maiden.
donate a fingerprint grape to me? They're special grapes which only grow on those who've been clasped by the burnt fingers.
We only know of one other who was clasped in such a manner. His name was Vike, the dragon spear.
Your boy Vike.
After the war with the ancient
Yeah,
dragon,
good armor though. I know a lot of armor is like just based on, what do you say, fashion souls, right? Like, it does matter to some extent, but maybe not as much as you'd like. That was a good armor set. I thought it was pretty cool, like three-finger hit. I thought it fit really well, at least for my endurance. Man, I get all my FromSoft games mixed up. I don't know what the stat is for how much you can carry, but I think it was endurance in Elden Ring. You know what I'm talking about.
dragons, there came the rise of the dragon cultists, who earned the dragon's affection. One of the most beloved was Vike the dragon spear, a tarnished descended from Godfrey, who eventually returned from
descended
across the
from
sea
Godfrey.
to join the Round Table Hold in hopes of becoming Elden Lord. To this end, Vike was assigned a finger maiden and acquired the power of 2 great runes.
Wow,
But when
man.
he stood before the thorns of the Ode Tree, he realized the truth, that a maiden's true purpose is to burn the thorns for the one who would become Elden Lord. And whether it was born of love or duty, Vike refused to burn his maiden, for the whisperings of Shabriri had told him of another flame. A flame of frenzy
Let's start
hidden
rocking
deep
out.
below the capital that could burn the thorns away.
He didn't want to kill his maiden.
But when Vike returned, his maiden was dead. Did she commit suicide after betraying her purpose, or was Vike captured and punished for his treason? Whatever the case, now Vike's vengeful spirit defends the dead maiden at the Church of Inhibition,
This music is awesome.
while the real Vike kneels imprisoned in an Everjail deep within the Forbidden Lands, clad in armor clasped by 3 burnt fingers. This is all that remains of the contender that was supposed to become Elden Lord.
You know what I learned way too late is I had never seen the jail not spelled Jail. So Gael. I didn't put together as a jail, like an imprisonment. And I kind of pronounced it in my head like a gale, and I didn't know what it meant. And it seems kind of magical, like you go there and you're off to another place. So I just thought it was like some sort of, that meant like another dimension type of thing. It was like a week ago that I realized watching one of these videos, an Ever jail is a jail, like a prison. And I felt kind of stupid. This is us killing Vike to get his eye. Woo! Let's go, man. Dude, we need more metal in these videos. I'm pumped right now. Oh, hell no. You got the power of the dragon on you. Yo, I'm like amped right now. Why am I so pumped up? I'm about to start moshing by myself in my room, just knocking over the shit I bought. They really went all out on this. Speaking of moshing, you ever heard of the band Knocked Loose? I've been trying to I've been kind of falling into like the hardcore scene a little bit recently. I know I'm talking about music now. I'm like way off, and there's this awesome video happening. So sorry, but man, I just heard this band Knocked Loose, and yo, they're fucking hard, man. Like I've been listening to different hardcore bands recently, but there's just something about these dudes. Like they're sick. They're good. You should check them out if you have any interest in like hardcore music. He looked so bored. He's just like... It's an epic ass fight, man. Oh yeah. These videos are fucking awesome. I didn't even know. I said on the last video, I didn't even know what I was getting into. I'm so used to just like analytical descriptions of what happened in Elden Ring, and these are just like full beginning to end like storylines that you could follow in game, but just put to like rock music now. You know, like it's really good. I love these videos.
Finally, we meet the Tarnished, who would be Lord. Oh my, why the long face? I fear that you were previously acquainted with this vessel. Well, that is most unfortunate, for he is dead. As for his flesh, he gave it to me.
Doubt.
Shabriri. I hope you can make your peace with that. You are about to sacrifice something precious, the life of a fair maiden, that you would toss into the fiery forge, only so that you may be Lord. What a horrible thing to ponder.
True.
Your ascendancy.
It's a good point.
Her sacrifice, whether she wishes it or not.
Pretty fucked up, actually.
But how would the Lord, crowned so, be looked upon? Chosen tarnished, and would-be Lord, dare to tread the path of true rigor. Spare the poor girl, and singe your own flesh in her stead. If you are prepared to show resolve, and attain lordship through righteous hardship, then heed the words of I, Shabriri.
Yo, is Shabriri the good guy? Are we the bad guys? I think we are. I think the Lord of the Frenzied Flame is the correct, like that's the good ending. My mind is racing right now.
Chosen, tarnished, and would-be lord, descend into the depth.
If someone needs to die for the greater good, it has to be the choice. I've said this in another video. It has to be the choice of the person dying. Oh, I said this in spoiler alert. If you haven't played The Last of Us, skip forward like 20 seconds. Make it 30. When they're going to kill Ellie in The Last of Us and Joel comes in and saves her, right? They weren't giving Ellie the chance to do that, right? Like to make that decision. And that was not okay. You can't murder somebody for the greater good, but you can tell her what it is and she could sacrifice herself. That's moral, I think. But just killing the Finger Maiden, that's immoral. I don't know. I feel like, okay, so I'm just relating that back to this. I feel like the Frenzied Flame ending is like the moral ending. Am I wrong?
It's far below the Erd Tree capital. Seek audience with the 3 fingers and the flame of frenzy. If you inherit the flame of frenzy, your flesh will serve as kindling. Burn the Erd Tree to the ground and incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. Ah, may chaos take the world.
Okay,
May
voice
chaos
actor.
Take the Shabriri is chaos.
Oh yeah, you find him dead up here.
I cannot die.
It's sort of like a...
May chaos.
I feel like it's the greater good, but at the same time, it's like it's the right thing to do. We'll see how this plays out because I explained it. I'm not going to repeat myself, but they also make it seem so scary. 3 fingers down in the basement, you're singeing your body, and it's just all dark and evil and scary. She certainly doesn't like it. I don't know.
If you intend to claim the Frenzied Flame, I ask that you cease. It is not to be meddled with. It is chaos, devouring life and thought unending. However ruined
This
world has become.
This is a political analogy, I think. I've consistently felt like the Erd Tree is... actually, somebody said in a comment, Queen Marika, like America, Queen Marika, and that... my head, I'm weird, and my head starts racing like, wait, is there like political analogies here? Is America, and that's the United States, and what does this mean? And is it like, this shiny beacon controlling the world? And, I'm trying to think through all this, and, there's a lot of ways you could take that. And then I just like at the beginning of this video, I'm like, oh, I'm not into, I'm not an anarchist, but I feel like, they're talking about chaos. Like the Frenzied Flame is the anarchy in opposition of the Erd Tree, right? Which could be, authoritarianism, which it kind of is, right? Like they kill people for the greater will, the greater, what they would call the greater good, but the great, I'm probably rambling on this one a lot, but, there's my thoughts.
However mired in torment and despair, life endures. Births continue. There is beauty in that, is there not? If you would become Lord, do not deny this notion. Please, leave the Frenzied Flame alone.
And maybe you would have left it alone.
Chaos isn't
for the
bad.
horrors that you found down there.
I need this explanation. I don't know what these
they did
guys
to
are.
my ancestors.
Oh.
The whole clan buried alive. Sick. Maddened. Husks of themselves. Have you heard their moans? They're hardly human anymore.
We need an
We
uprising.
worship the Three Fingers, that we called the maddening sickness down upon them. Well, if that's what they expect from us, then that's what they shall get from us!
I like that. Is that real audio from the game? I don't remember that.
The world of Grace and his people should have been content to see us sink between the cracks, but to have intruded upon our solace, having broken us upon their whims? I'll never forgive any of you. We won't be trading any longer.
So
Wait. What's that?
who put them down there?
Burn.
Just like the Golden Order, right? Like their enemies.
Your eyes.
Wait, Shabriri was the one that said they were bad. Okay, so I'm going back now. It said earlier in the video that Shabriri got his eyes gouged out for telling a lie. The lie being that the merchants were in cahoots with the Three Fingers. But that's not. I'm not following. I'm missing something here because it kind of seems like Shabriri is and would be on the side of the merchants. So I'm not following why he would lie or what I'm missing there. I hope somebody can explain this to me.
You've inherited the flame of frenzy. Unknown warrior. Divest yourself of everything. Our Three Fingers. Throw wide the door. Ah, that's it.
Should I get some undies like
The
that?
yellow flame of chaos.
Who controls the Three Fingers? It's just a different god? Because we know that the Two Fingers like talk with the Greater Will. Who does the Three Fingers talk with?
A frenzied flame to melt away the curses, suffering, and despair. And the order entire. Melt away the curses, suffering, despair. And the order entire. May chaos take the world. May chaos take the world.
Oh, the Three Fingers disappears. I kind of forgot about that. So now you have inherited the flame that the Three Fingers previously held. The music is hard in this.
Oh, it burns. My eyes. They're melting. Thank you. I have touched them. The words of the Three Fingers. As your maiden, allow me to divine them.
Did we not just sacrifice a maiden just like he said we shouldn't do? And like Shabriri said, like, oh, you're gonna go sacrifice your maiden, you're a bitch. And then you go down there and didn't we sacrifice Hayeta?
That there is came from the one great. Then came fractures. and births and souls. But the greater will made a mistake. Torment, despair, affliction, every sin, every curse, every one born of the mistake. And so, what was borrowed must be returned, melted all away with the yellow chaos flame, until all is one again. Those who gave me grapes howled without words, saying they wished they were never born. Become their lord, take their torment, despair, their affliction, every sin, every curse, and melt it all away. As the Lord of Chaos, no more fractures.
I love this. I'm pumped right now.
No more birth.
And so it is that an eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
You have inherited the frenzied flame. A pity. Our accord ends here.
It's a good ending. It's cool. Look at me. Witness! Burn it down. Burn it all down. You must burn it down before you can build anew. You got to do it this way. You got to burn the whole thing down. That's the way it is. If you want to achieve change, to quote I'm going to quote somebody here. I'm curious to know if anybody will know this, but to achieve change, you cannot work within the system. I'm paraphrasing, because when you try to create change by working within the system, it's not you that changes the system. It's that system that will eventually change you. And really, this is the only way to do it. If you don't want to live the life under the oppression of the Erd Tree, you burn it down and start new. It's scary, huh? Look at us walking along the edge of the forge. What do we got here?
Lord of Frenzied Flame. I will seek you as far as you may travel.
Yo.
To deliver you what is yours.
That is fucking hard.
Destined death.
Ominous. Woo! Oh, man. I like that one. Did they get better? So he calls this Prepare to Cry and Cry a Lot. At no point have I... the first one tried to be a little bit sad. There was no crying, though, in that. And this one, there was, zero sadness. So I'm just gonna... That's a loose description. I don't think the guy's actually trying to make us, shed tears here. That was a good video, man. I really enjoyed that. I feel like it was like escalated to or ascended to another level of like Elden Ring education, you know, like I'm really enjoying going through this and learning more and more and more. But I've just done it in an exciting way. Man, it's a good video. That was good. I think, hey, I might have changed my mind. You know, I used to say that my favorite ending was Ronnie and all that. And because it was cool, it's just like, it was a long path to get there, a lot of excitement. And, you know, I'm really liking the Frenzied Flame. I think that's cool as shit. Well, shit, guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. More to come. I'm going to go through the rest of the Prepare to Cry movies. So I hope you join me to watch them. Thanks. Bye.